Hey friends, welcome to a brand new episode of the show. My name is Verona and I am your behavior change nutrition coach focused on mindset and helping you if you are the busy successful woman that has more than 5 pounds of fat to lose and you want to do so without dieting ever again. I want to learn how to keep it off sustainably, then I am your girl. Today we are continuing on with the theme for Thanksgiving. Now when it comes to Thanksgiving, it is not just an opportunity to give thanks, but it can be a dieter's nightmare if you are somebody who is trying to focus on how to eat healthy, how to track your macros, whether or not you should track your macros, whether or not you should count calories, all of these conundrums when it comes to just being able to eat food. Now if this is you, grab your notepad and your pen because you are going to need something to write with. Of course, if you're driving, please drive safe and just listen to the tea that I'm about to spill. Let's get into today's episode. Hey friend, welcome to Lose Weight with Macros, the Basics podcast show with me, your host Verona. If you're somebody who's overwhelmed by all of the conflicting information out there, you're confused about how much protein you should be eating, how to count macros, you don't have time to figure out your macros, and you're sick and tired of repeating the same old boring meals because it is exhausting, you are in the right place. This Lose Weight with Macros Basics podcast is specifically for you. You're the woman who wants to learn how to track your macros and do it sustainably, do it in a way that you can enjoy your foods and you don't have to cut out your favorite foods, and we're not here for that. So my friends, if this is you, grab your tea, grab your coffee, grab your water, grab your matcha, your notepad and pen, because today's episode is going to be a juicy one. So buckle up friends, let's get it. Okay, friends, if you have caught up with all of the other episodes about getting you prepared for Thanksgiving, I'm not giving you unrealistic tips here, friends. I'm giving you realistic tips that you can actually sustain. But the key is to sustaining them, you've got to put them into practice. Now, these are not going to be long episodes. These are not going to be directly, specifically personalized to you, but you can actually put these into actionable steps. And I would love to know how these have worked out for you, whether you put them into practice or you didn't get around to it, or you've just gone back to your diet that you usually do. Now, if you are that woman, do not be ashamed, because I used to be the same woman. I used to do the same sort of things, but I also used to be every one of these characteristics that I'm going to talk about in today's episode. So for those of you who are taking notes, well, you have obviously clicked on here and talked about the episode, but today's episode is the different types of eaters at Thanksgiving. Now, I've been one of these eaters at every Christmas season. Now, we don't have Thanksgiving over here in the UK. We just practice thanks according to what the Bible says. Give thanks. Let us now give thanks every single day. So I'm not going to keep you long here, friends, but if you are somebody who is trying to lose weight and you're trying to do it realistically because you want to build confidence in your body, who does not want to be confident, especially in the way that they feel, especially in the way that they look? Now, we might be, as women, if you're a type A woman, you might be confident in the gifts that you have and the skills that you have, but you might not be confident in how you take care of your body. You may try to, but all that ends up happening is you procrastinate and then you put it off, eating healthy. You know what? I'll do it next year. I'll do it in January. Why put off what you can do today for tomorrow that we may not see? Now, I know that might sound morbid, but it's actual a reality. We might not get to the places that we're trying to get to in January. We might have troubles in January. Why, if you can do this now, why are we putting things off? Why are we delaying things? Just before I started as a nutrition coach, my decision for me to change my health was made for me by my health. Now, instead of having your health dictate to you, you need this. Before we get to that place, this is why I put on these podcasts. This is where you can get your custom macros with me, where you can get your virtual makeover with me. This is why I am a coach, to do the things that I do, so you don't go into the places that I did. I may not be your coach right now as at the time of listening to this podcast, but I'm inviting and I'm extending an olive branch. I've opened up 5 spaces for one-to-one women to work with me, but you have to be the woman who is serious to do this. If you're not ready to do this, then this time round would not be right for you. And how you do that: when it comes to emotional pain, it doesn't go away by eating Cheetos, Ho-Hos, or a family share size bar of Cadbury's dairy milk. The only thing that does happen is the pain isn't as noticeable while you're savouring the chocolate, the Cheetos, and the Krispy Kremes. But once you've eaten the last square, or you've taken your last bite of the donut, or taken the last Cheeto from the bag, that sting of emotional pain that you're hiding from comes right back. In fact, it didn't even leave. You just don't notice it as much as you push it to the back of your mind. That is why I've opened up the doors to my new program, All the Trimmings. Even though the tools that I give you in the program are fundamental to your weight loss, even more are the mindset tools that I provide in this program. These tools will form the building blocks to your mindset, your nutrition, and helping you maintain it long term. The investment in yourself is literally a life-changing one-time investment with lifelong returns. So we'll be digging deep into live coaching calls where I'm going to teach you these building blocks that other diet courses and subscriptions just don't have. Now, suppose that your goal is to lose weight and build healthier eating habits. If that's the case, you'll get this and more if you put in the work. I'm going to help you find the foods that you enjoy rather than being made to feel like you have to eat foods that deprive you of all joy, but everybody else is eating foods that you like and you're having to be eating a salad. There's no detox plan here. There's no diet here. There's no bland foods here. Trust me on that one, friend. And Shan, if you know that there's somebody that wants to do this with you, bring her. Grab her, do this. Two are better than one. All are welcome at the table. I cannot wait to see you inside. And if you've got any questions, DM me on Insta at VA Nutrition Coaching. If you don't have Instagram, then you can email me support@, vanutritioncoaching.co.uk. Can't wait to see you inside. Is you go to the website vanutritioncoaching.co.uk/coaching, and there you'll book your free 15-minute coaching call with me, and we just have a conversation to see if this is something right for you and you're the right fit for me. We vibe together and all of those fantastic things. I tell you the price. There's no hiding the price here. We tell you straight what it is. Also, if you don't know what macros are, then head over to the website vanutritioncoaching.co.uk/macros guide. There I'm giving you 5 minutes to macros to give you an overview of what macronutrients are and whether or not this is for you in your nutrition journey. If you tried dieting, if you tried keto, if you tried all of the things and they haven't worked, but you haven't tried macros, this is the information risk-free for you to have a look at and to see, is this more? And if this is something that you do decide that's more for you, then book your custom macros with me where I will calculate how much proteins, carbs, and fats that you should have on a day according to your goals, whether that's fat loss and including exercise and some strength training. And you can get that over on the website vanutritioncoaching.co.uk/custom-macros where you can get your personalized macros guide. Now, we are going to get into the crux of today's episode. I like to tell you these things, so you might be new here and you might not know what I am doing, but you might be a long-time veteran and you still might not know how to work with me. So these are the ways that you can work with me now. You can work with me now. Don't worry, if you do sign up with me for one-to-one coaching, you might be asking, and I've had clients who are actually working with me now. They said, how am I going to survive over the Christmas period and the parties? We all know that the parties turn up when it comes to work parties, work Christmas parties. I've got my own. So I'm teaching you how to navigate that. I'm not putting you on a diet. I repeat, I'm not putting you on a diet and getting you to cut out any of those things, but I'm going to teach you how to go into social settings and slay them like a boss. Okay. So when it comes to the type of personalities that we are over Christmas, over Thanksgiving, over holiday seasons, these are the 5 types of people that we can turn into at Thanksgiving or Christmas. But today I am calling these people out so you no longer stay in this place. So next year you are not this same person, either because you will put into action what I'm telling you in today's episode, or 2, because you'll sign up to work with me in some shape or form, whether you need that accountability or you just want the custom macros to go on and do it yourself. And next year I will be inviting you as a podcast host for listening to this podcast, putting it into action, and you will be telling other listeners how you've got amazing results. So the first person is, and I've been this person too, is I'm not eating anything. Sometimes people say this. I've said this because I've had no money and I'm hungry and I still wanted to meet up with my friend because I'd rather meet up with her and not eat than tell her I have no money. I just used to feel embarrassed and I used to feel ashamed to admit that I had no money. And in fact, the more I told people, this was a few years back, the more I told people that I didn't have any money, the more naturally that they paid for me. But what happened was that enabled me. Now, in the term of psychology, there's a term called enabler, and all they do is they enable you to stay in the place that you're at. And it's not a nice position. Its chances are you've probably heard of the term tough love. And I had to receive some tough love. And I had to get counseling, which is ironically why I'm a mindset coach, a CBT coach to be precise. But that's exactly the kind of coaching that I had from a CBT therapist. And I was like, I quite like this structure. I quite like how you coach me and how you ask me these questions. Now, as I coach clients, I'm not giving you the answers. So if you're considering working with me and because you think I'm going to just tell you, Sarah, this is what you have to do. You're not a robot. I'm not a genie. That's not how we work. I'm partnering with you in your lifestyle. So you're telling me what you need help with. And I've got the tools to help you do that, and I'm giving you the accountability. Some people like a little kick up the bum, figuratively speaking. Some people just see this as this is what I need that accountability. Absolutely 100% is accountability here. However, it is not telling you what to do and dictating to you, do this and you go away and do that. Otherwise, I'm just telling you what to do and you're not learning or having the autonomy and becoming your own coach, which is what I'm teaching you to do. But when I became that person where I never had no money, I don't have no money, I needed to change my own record. I needed to come out of that victim mentality and that victim mindset, because there's only so many tunes and sad tunes that those violins can play. Let's get out the violins. Verona doesn't have any money. There are people who don't have no money, but they still show up, and you would never know they don't have a penny to their name. They're waiting for things. They are going through some things, but you would never know it because they've refused to be a victim any longer. And so when we say this sort of thing, I'm not eating anything. I know I've said it because in the past, I've said it because I had no money to eat. And then my friends feel sorry for me because I've got those puppy dog eyes. But really, I was insecure and I was spending the money that I should pay on bills. Then I was spending that on feeding my insecurities. Then that was causing me to gain weight. And those people who were enabling me were just feeding those insecurities and feeding my addiction to food. I told you it was some deep rooted stuff and I had to get counseling through it. Now, many of us can fall into this personality like, I'm not eating anything. Now, it may not be because you've got no money, but you might be this person because you're usually trying to lose weight. It's often the person who feels that they've got to restrict themselves from food in order to lose weight, quote unquote, quicker, because the holidays are a time of excess and indulgence. So you're the person that says you don't want to eat any of it, you don't want to partake in it, and people will try to offer you some protein packed snacks like nuts or edamame, or try to convince you to take a walk outside with you afterwards. But I'm not eating anything type of person says, no, I'm not eating anything because you're making everything so unhealthy. Now, we tend to make a big deal about how they don't want to eat any of your delicious food because it's full of sugar and it's full of fat, and then you're trying to convince them that the holidays are the only time of year where indulgence is acceptable and even encouraged, which is what you're trying to do with them. This person's not trying to hear you. However, what this person is failing to believe or failing to acknowledge is last week, Friday, they did the same thing. The very measures that they're trying to put in now, they actually did last week. And they've hidden the wrappers from their husband. They've hidden the things deep down in the trash can so that they're none the wiser. Or they're also stressed throughout the day where they're not eating throughout the day. They're drinking coffee because they're highly stressed. It's a busy time. And then they're snacking themselves crazy in the nighttime. But they're going to make you feel bad for inviting them to the party because everything is full of fat and sugar. How about this? Instead of you being that person that I'm not eating anything, how about you be the person that casts restraint? I'm not eating everything and anything. That's a little bit of a different mindset shift. So you're not restricting yourself because chances are you know you want to enjoy those foods. If you're somebody personally who that has health issues or health effects for, absolutely you'll come at it differently. But if you're somebody who is trying to deny yourself from these things because you're trying to make up for that overindulgence thing that you did 2 nights ago, the difference is the perspective. Instead of coming, and I've been on that high horse, I've been up there and I've been like, no, I'm not eating anything. But yet still on that very night, I'm going to binge because I restricted and I didn't eat throughout the day. That does not last long. The next type of person that we can tend to morph into over at Thanksgiving or Christmas holidays, especially when we're on a restrictive diet, is I'm going to overdo it, so I might as well start now. This person starts eating way too early in the day and ends up feeling bloated by the time night comes. And you even start to eat more because you're so uncomfortable with your stomach being full. Now, you can remind yourself, or somebody else can remind you, that you can still have fun without overdoing it. And I'm going to be that person for you. You can still enjoy your foods without overdoing it. You don't have to eat to the point where you have to undo a button or two or few, to the point that you're having to be so uncomfortable. And now all you can think of, oh, I need to go to the bathroom. And that's not an excuse to empty out what you've just eaten and then make more space for more food. Instead of doing that, try to implement portion control. And we tend to overdo it when we're overly restricting ourselves. Now, the next type of person is, I'm a health nut and I'll be damned if I ruin my diet. We can kind of become a little bit snobby. Now, I bet you every one of you has been this person. I know I've been person number one and I've been person number two. And the reason why is because each and every time I was on a diet. And the diet industry knows this. The diet industry knows, and you will likely have seen it. You might even be on WW right now, and you might be in uproar because they've changed their plan again, right where the holidays have come. So you are asking yourselves, what on earth do I do? Do I wait until this new plan comes out? Or do I just be like, you know what? I'm going to overdo it, so I'm going to enjoy myself. It's one day, then I'm going to get back on it tomorrow. Do you know how to have that self-control over yourself? Now, most of my clients that come to me from the holidays or even before the holidays have no clue. They don't have a clue, or they fall into all of these categories. You might be like, oh, Verona, you've just read my mail. I'm falling into all of these right now. Now, I want to pause for a second before I go on to the next person. I mean, this is not to call anyone out. If this is your behavior, then you need to have a conversation. If you're somebody who wants to step away from these type of behaviors, these type of mindsets, and you actually want to come away from this, not just for one day and then go back to it the day after. And even if you do, that's where you're at now. You are at that place. That's it. Just own that's where you're at. The difference is you're trying to step out and make changes to that. And how you're making changes to that is the difference. If you're trying to step out and make changes by doing the same things, you're not going to get changes. Even if you're willing it, you're showing up with more motivation, you're showing up with me trying to be more consistent. You know what? This time I'm doing it. If you're constantly going back to the same things that have not worked for you, no matter what holiday season it is, friends, it's not going to work. And until you get to that, accept that, until you get to the acceptance level, which is a quality of change, until we get to that, right, I'm accepting these things don't work. And it's hard to accept it because we want it so desperately to work. We want to so desperately accept it. My clients know, instead of focusing on that, we're focusing on something different. And it's going to need you to have some different kind of energy to come, and some different kind of vigor to come and be like, you know what? This is the result that I've constantly got. Assess what you've got. Have you got anything to show for it? If you're that person that's always calling that friend, is there a friendship? That person never calls you. That person doesn't initiate the message. Some of you might say, well, that person is busy. My life don't revolve around hers. That might be the way that they deal with it. Yes, I agree with that. They might be going through something so traumatizing, they don't want to involve you in what's going on in their lives, so they don't reach out to you. I absolutely agree. But all of the time, come on, we can't use that reason all of the time. Yes, some of the time, sometimes it might even be most of the time. Absolutely, we never know what's going on with someone. But if we are the people that's constantly initiating, one, we might not be giving that person the opportunity to step out and reach out to us because we're always doing it. So if we stop and let them do it, then they might do it. But we get so afraid that, like, oh, this person's going to leave me. You know what? And I'm talking from experience here. I'm not calling anyone out. I might be. If you're feeling called out, it's because I've been there. So if you're always reaching out to that person and you're like, oh my gosh, you know what? They might leave me. I might not have no friends. It's okay, girl. Listen, the way that this pandemic has set us up, and I've made so many friends online. They're in different cities and we're online friends. I'm talking friends, like planning to go and see them friends. The possibilities are amazing. But if you feel like you're the person that's always initiating things and it's never being reciprocated, there's something wrong there. And so you might be like, what is going on? How is this? How is this helping me? Well, my friends, that's the same thing when it comes to diets. If you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results, it's just not going to happen. If you haven't got the results you're expecting now, check the methods that you're using and how to get there. And my clients know this. When they first come to me, they're exactly like this. They're exactly like, I'm trying to eat healthy. I'm trying to do this. And sometimes it's a little bit of tough love. However, I will not work with any woman unless she's ready to come away from that. And I can't force you to do that because you will constantly be looking to me to give you answers, and I just can't give you those answers. If you're ready to come away from that, and I mean really ready, that's going to look different for different women. And the reality is, no matter how many times people try to force you, the more someone tries to force you, I'm very similar. This characteristic is the more that you're going to push back and pull away. I do not work with clients who are not a 10. If you're not a 10 and that 10 looks like you're ready to change, like, Verona, here's my credit card. I'm going to the website right now whilst you're talking. I'm signing up as your coach. Forget the free call. I want to work with you. That's what ready is. Not everybody is at that stage, but that's what ready is. Ready looks like you're ready to change now. You're done with fed up. You're fed up with dieting. If it takes 6 months, it takes 6 months. If it takes 12 months, it takes 12 months. So that's the type of people. If you're at this place where you're like, you're on a strict diet and you're not going to let anything get in the way of you losing weight, then you stick with your usual routine and of only eating vegetables or just protein and broccoli and chicken and rice. Come Thanksgiving, that's out the window. Let's be real. The tunes, the music that they're playing, and the smell of the food, and they're bringing out all the things that you like, forget just eating plain broccoli and chicken. You are going to lose control of yourself, because that's what diets do. Diets set us up to have no control. Like, we turn, like, you know how the Hulk, when he gets angry, he gets triggered and he just literally forms into something and someone else. That's what we're like when we've been restricting, and we're this, I'll be damned if I ruin my diet. We've got this poise and almost that arrogance about us. But the minute they start playing those tunes, you turn into the Hulk when it comes around food. And people look at you like, is she all right? Like, you're eating like you've never eaten it in your life. And the next person is, I need an excuse for why I'm not eating. Ooh, this person will make up excuses for why they're not eating at every meal. I'm allergic. I'm diabetic. It's affecting my health. I'm just going to put on weight. Now, these might be legit reasons. I'm not listen, don't try and come for me. These are legit reasons. But when you're using these reasons as excuse, you keep using the same excuse. You know what? This just stop. Just stop. Because if it happens every single time at your holiday event, there are some things. If even if you are these things, even if that is the case for you, there's a difference to how you're using it. You're not going to use this as an excuse. What you are going to do is you don't even come with that excuse. You're not even going to come with an excuse. What you are going to do is contact the host and say, you know what, I've just been contacted or been told that I've got type 2 diabetes. Is there anything, could I have the menu of what we're planning? Or would you mind if I bring my own food? And then you have the meats, etc. There'll be things that you've already put into practice. So this won't even come into your mind. You will not even be putting excuses. Now, this is the difference between somebody who's a 10 and somebody who isn't. And somebody who is still stuck in that place where they're constantly giving excuses for the way that they are. I am not saying that you are not legitimately a type 2 diabetic. I am not saying any of that because many of you might be borderline. Some of you listening to this might be or might know somebody who is. I'm not saying that. I know people who are obese and also at risk of diabetic and are on medication. So believe me, I'm not belittling that at all. But there's a difference. There's a difference. If you are constantly using this to justify the way that you are eating, being diabetic or having allergies does not justify the means to continue eating the way that you are, that continue to exasperate the disease or condition. Now, we all take time to work through that. Believe me, it takes time to work through that. Now, if you're somebody who is that, then you will know how to navigate that. Habits take a long time to work with. Let me tell you that habits take a long time to be broken and to work through. But if we're constantly saying to ourselves, you know what, I'm a procrastinator, there's got to be a time where you stop that. You stop justifying yourself. It then gets to, you know what, I've realized I procrastinate a lot when I try to eat healthy. Okay, that's something I'm aware of. Even if you stop there and still kind of have battles with that excuse, that's still a progress. So I may speak a little bit harsh. I've been like this myself and I had to kick my own self up the bottom. I had to make haste. In fact, I tried to make haste and people tried to tell me I was not hearing it because of why I was attached to food. Now we deal with this over in the mindset portion of the program. However, even if you acknowledge actually, yeah, I am a little bit procrastinating. Actually, yeah, I keep saying I'm a diabetic often. I keep saying that. Yes, you know you're diabetic. Everybody around you knows you're diabetic. What are you doing about it? Actually, I might want to go back to my doctor to see if they can change my medication because when I'm on this medication, I realize I've got some cravings or it's making me really lethargic. That's one acknowledgement. Then you're taking it from there and you're saying, you know what? Okay, I've listened to this podcast. I realize actually I've been making way too many excuses. I've been talking too much. Sometimes like myself, I'll be like, I've been chatting too much. Sometimes I cut out half of the podcast because it's waffle. And there are other times where I'm like, yeah, actually, I like the way I've done this. I could do that more in the podcast and just make it a little bit more succinct. So the point is, what I'm saying here is, even if you are stuck in this place, the difference to you becoming a 10 to you being that I need an excuse for everything and why I'm not eating is acknowledging it. Even if you acknowledge, oh, actually, yeah, I do that a lot. Then you take the next step. That is what small sustainable changes are about. Even if it overwhelms you and even if you do procrastinate to eat healthy, recognize it, acknowledge it, and make a plan how you're going to use it. Now, in coaching, one of the things that we do is goals. Throughout the program, we will come to your goals because if we just do the program from 1 to 17 and you sit and you come expecting, what are you going to tell me to lose weight? You're going to get a rude awakening. It doesn't work like that. It's what are your goals? What do you want to achieve? I'm helping you become accountable to achieving those goals. And if you can't achieve them, what's stopping you from achieving those goals? Is it, I need an excuse for why I'm not eating? Okay, so how can we deal with that? What's your most number one excuse? When you sign up to get your macros guide, I'm actually inviting you to tell me what is your struggles. What are three of the most nutrition struggles that you struggle with? And I will reply back with a video or an email helping you with the resources that I have to help you with that. And it's down to you to make those actionable steps to actually change those things. If I can change, my clients can change. Even if they came kicking and screaming, they've still changed. But we have to be the change that we want to be. And if you find that these are the type of excuses that you make or justifications or reasons that you make or people that you are every day, there are ways that you can change it. Even if you have one single step, do what you can do in your life. Don't try and do what Sally's doing. Don't try and do what I've done. Don't try and do what other people pressurize you to do. If you're busy, you know what it's like when you're busy. Some days there's no time to breathe or no time to even go to the bathroom or, powder your face, touch up or whatever. It's so busy. Do what you can now. Don't feel like you have to overhaul your complete life in 5 minutes. That's when we get overwhelmed and over enthusiastic, and then we end up not doing anything. Focus on what you can change. Even if at this end of the podcast, all you say is, oh, I acknowledge that I'm a procrastinator. I procrastinate on things. That's good. If that's what you can handle right now, fantastic. And then the next episode, see what else you can do on fat loss that is done right. Fat loss that is done steady is boring, is long. But believe me, the slower, the steadier, the better chance that you have of maintaining this fat loss rather than signing up to programs that have not worked for you or doing the same things and getting the same results. My friends, this is all we've got time for. I'm afraid I've got to get on and record the next episode. But my friends, if this has helped you, share it with somebody else who needs to hear this. If this has helped you, let me know over on the Facebook page, facebook.com/VA Nutrition Coaching, how this has helped you. And also download your macros guide if you're somebody who wants to know about macros, and also how I can be your coach. That's it, my friends. Until next time, I can't wait to see you on the next one. Hey, friend, you made it to the end of the episode. What was your biggest takeaway from today's episode? Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review over on iTunes. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about today's episode, or you need help, then you can contact me over on Instagram at VA Nutrition Coaching Podcast, or email me support@vanutritioncoaching.co.uk, or you can head over to the Facebook page, VA Nutrition Coaching Podcast. It helps us reach even more women who are fed up with dieting, don't know how to lose weight, they're frustrated with following Sally's results and they're not getting any of their own, and they just finally want to shed some pounds and do it in a way that they can sustain and they can enjoy. But my friends, that's a wrap for today's episode. I can't wait to catch you on the next one. Until then, friends, stay healthy, stay blessed, and remember, if you haven't already downloaded your 5-ingredient recipe pack, you can go to the website vanutritioncoaching.co.uk/recipes and download your 5-ingredient recipe pack. Who said healthy eating was boring? See you next time, friend.